Hey guys, happy Friday. We've made it to Friday. It is time for Pocket with Joe. It is Friday, January 27th. I want to give a big shout out to everyone that is already jumping in the live chat. Love seeing you guys every day. Wow, did we ever have some upsets? Look at the last 2 days of the big favorites that were over minus 400 favorites. All three of them lost those games. We saw the Oilers lose, the Calgary Flames, and the Colorado Avalanche all lose their games over those last 2 days. So definitely killed a lot of parlays out there. I had the Colorado Avalanche and the Calgary Flames in that first period, not even able to cover that puck line in the first period. Calgary losing to the Blackhawks. Yeah, just a shame. With the Seattle Kraken on deck, I was worried about that full game, but not about that first period. And then we had some dogs get some nice wins. We got the Predators with that beautiful plus money and the Buffalo Sabres with that beautiful plus money as well. So that was great to see. Got a new member over here on Pocket Up. So thank you so much for joining. So happy to see you here. Now, okay. Got people in from Arizona. I love this, you guys. We're going to have a great show today. Yeah, I was really shocked with the St. Louis Blues as well yesterday. Just not able to get it done. That parlay, I think we went, what did we go in that parlay? 5. We went 5 and 3, I believe, in that parlay. St. Louis, Calgary, and the Avs really letting us down. We did get the Sabres plus 1.5 on that puck line. We went safe with that in the parlay, got them outside of that on the money line. The Red Wings of Montreal didn't stay under that total. They hit 7, but we did get some nice wins. The Preds and the Devils on that first period over 1.5. And you know what? We saw really what I expected out of the Devils, really explosive at the start of that game and slowing down towards the end. We got that Jack Hughes anytime goal. I tell you, we just got to keep riding with that. You guys, let's jump into these 8 games today because it doesn't matter what happened yesterday. Let's make some freaking money today. I'm going to start it off with the first game on the board. So the first game we have here is the Detroit Red Wings taking on the New York Islanders. Now, the Islanders, to say they're in a slump is an understatement. This team has lost their last 6 games. Really struggling right now to find the back of the net to be able to get a win. Now, they got Vegas on deck tomorrow. They're at home in this one. Sorokin is expected in goal. They're coming in as a large favorite at minus 192. It's up to you guys if you have trust in this Islanders team. We look at the Detroit Red Wings. They're on the back-to-back. They've had a lot of travel. I do think this is a game where the Islanders could win. But am I going to run to bet this game? Absolutely not. I can't trust this Islanders team as far as I can throw them. With Helgerg here, or Heller, I don't know how to say his name. I've got to really Google that. If you guys can tell me the pronunciation, that would be good, because off the top of my head, I'm drawing a blank. I know I have Googled it before, but I'm not trusting the Detroit Red Wings backup goalie in for this one. They have won their last 2 games, but in this back-to-back here, I don't think that they have the opportunity to get the win. The home team has won the last 6 meetings between these 2 teams. But when we look at the Red Wings coming off an overtime win, they've gone 0-8 on that puck line. So there's a little bit of value grabbing them at plus 1.5, but I don't like it because they haven't been able to keep that up off of overtime, just coming out slow after those overtime games. And they've lost their last 8 as an underdog following an overtime win. So I think the best way is to take this is the Islanders. Can you trust a team that's gone 1-5 in their last 6 home games and has lost their last 6 games overall? I don't know if I can. And with Vegas on deck tomorrow, I don't love it in this one. The next game on the board, the LA Kings taking on the Florida Panthers. This is going to be a really interesting one. Now, we've got to wait for goalie confirmations, and let's see if we've got anything here for the goalie confirmations for the Florida Panthers. Copley should be starting in a goal for the Kings here, and it looks like we do have Leon confirmed here for the Florida Panthers. Now, Leon really has been having a struggle. He's got a 4.3 goals against average in the LA Kings with Copley. I like this team. I like what we've seen out of this team. I was really shocked they're coming in as such a big underdog at plus 122 in this matchup. Now, the total has skyrocketed up to 7. in this game. If you can get 6.5, I lean on the over, but at 7, I think we're probably going to get a push. I think this is a 4-3 game all day. I have more faith in Copley, though, for the Kings to get this win. So grabbing them here at plus 122, I think screams so much value. You can also look at things like the Kings if you want to throw it into a parlay with another team total. I love their team total over 2.5 in this one. We look at the Florida Panthers, and like I said, Leon expected or confirmed in goal now. And this team is allowing 3.5 goals per game. So we don't have Bobrovsky in here. I expect the Kings to be able to open up their scoring in this game. They're also allowing the Florida Panthers 32.1 shots on goal. So I do expect these goals to come in for them. The Kings have won their last 2. They're off that overtime win to the Flyers. And we've seen the Florida Panthers lose their last 2 games. It was an overtime loss versus the Pittsburgh Penguins on Tuesday. My concern here for the Florida Panthers is looking at their schedule. So we all know the All-Star break's coming up. So a lot of these teams, they are looking, some of them even tonight, their last game before the break. These guys are going to go on vacation. They're going to enjoy some warmth if they're up here in Canada. They'll probably take off to Mexico. I think we've got a couple trips on deck for a lot of these players. So something to think about. Well, I do think they like to finish these games strong. We look at the Florida Panthers, the Kings tonight. They've got the Bruins on deck tomorrow. That is going to be a battle of the Atlantic. The Panthers sitting 5th in the Atlantic and the Boston Bruins sitting 1st. So I do think this could be kind of a spot where we see again what we saw out of the Avs and the Calgary Flames in the last couple of nights, with different opponents on deck the next day within divisions. The Colorado Avalanche weren't in that situation, but Calgary was in that situation with the Kraken on deck today, where maybe they start off strong. Same with the Devils taking on the Stars. These teams starting off strong in that first period, and then this game slipping away from them as the opponent wants to win more. I think the Kings can get this win today, and I think we have a strong first period out of both of these teams. I like the over 1.5 in that first period at minus 170. So this could be one if you can same game parlay. I do love the over 1.5 in the first period and the LA Kings team total over 2.5. So both of those hitting right around minus 168 to minus 170 parlayed together. You're going to get 2 for 1 for your money. This defense of the Florida Panthers is just struggling too much. They have won their last 6 as a favorite, though. So they have been playing strong, but they are 0-7 on that puck line at home versus Pacific Division opponents. So they've been struggling against the Pacific. I don't see them win. But there's no value in taking the Kings plus 1.5 unless that's something that you want to throw into a parlay. Now, remember the last time these 2 teams did play back in November, the Kings got a 5-4 win. Really high scoring game. I lean to the over at 6.5. Like I said, at 7, I don't love it. I'm worried about that push there. I could see this also being a good game for Copley. And then I worry about that one going over that total. We know the Florida Panthers, though, are strong offensively. So this one should go over that total. Yeah, LA has won 4 meetings as the underdog versus the Florida Panthers. I really like when I look at this LA Kings team. So they're slipping a little bit in the Pacific. They are sitting second, or I believe they're second or third in the Pacific. I have to check the standings. Where the Vegas Golden Knights have gone to. But I know Seattle Kraken are first in the Pacific. I cannot believe how well this team's been playing. We're going to be talking about them in a couple of minutes. Of course, we have the Battle of the Pacific with the Calgary Flames here. But before we get to that one, we're going to look at the Ottawa Senators. Now, they're taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs. We got a total of 6.5. Oh, the Leafs fans today must be absolutely devastated. Austin Matthews out for a minimum of 3 weeks, high knee sprain. Only bonus, I guess, is this happened before the All-Star break. Let's see, and that's not a bonus, but at least one of those weeks is over the All-Star break. But I tell you, he is a top player for the Toronto Maple Leafs. It'll be really interesting to see how this team performs without him. He hasn't been the goal scorer that we did see last year. He was lighting up the net, left, right, center every single game. We haven't seen that this year. So while it's going to be impactful, and not as impactful as I think most fans will expect, I do still think the Toronto Maple Leafs have a strong finish to this season, even with him out for a couple of weeks here after the All-Star break. So I do think they're not a team to start fading without Austin Matthews. Now, when we look at the goalie matchup tonight, Toronto coming in as a large favorite, minus 192, total of 6.5. Ottawa, if you got faith in them, plus 162. But when we look at the goalie matchup, we have Forsberg expected for the Ottawa Senators and Matt Murray expected here for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Now, Matt Murray's been having a fantastic season. He's got a 2.73 goals against average. Both of these teams have had some success in certain situations. So we look at the Ottawa Senators. They have the Montreal Canadiens on deck, who are 5th in the Atlantic tomorrow. This isn't a game where they would look past the Toronto Maple Leafs. They want to get the win here over the Toronto Maple Leafs for sure. This, again, is a battle of the Atlantic in itself. We got the Sens sitting 7th, the Toronto Maple Leafs sitting 2nd. They're going to dig so deep in this game to get a nice win. When we look at who the Toronto Maple Leafs have on a deck on Sunday, they have the Washington Capitals. Now, the Senators, they won that last game over the Islanders 2-1. That was Wednesday night, and we saw the Toronto Maple Leafs have that overtime win versus the Rangers on Wednesday. So both these teams coming in off a win. When I look at this game, I got to look at the stats of how the Senators have done in Toronto, and they've completely struggled. Toronto's won the last 6 meetings in Toronto and the last 4 meetings overall. They really dominated this matchup, and I think even without Austin Matthews, we'll see a dominant game in this one. Both teams have been strong on their power plays, though, and has been scoring goals. So I'm leaning to the over 6.5, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the team who I trust more to get these goals versus a defense that I think is going to allow these goals. And that's the Toronto Maple Leafs. Without Austin Matthews, I still do think they have a strong performance in this one. So looking at their team total, we got that over 3.5 at minus 112, and I absolutely love it. I think we're going to see them get at least 4 goals in this matchup. And I really don't care what the Ottawa Senators do in this game. Just give me that over 3.5, because it's interesting, these two teams trending to that under when they play, with 4 of the last 5 meetings going to that under. I could see a really strong performance defensively out of the Leafs in this one. So this game, while I lean to the over, I do think this could be one where Matt Murray has a stunner game, and that over doesn't hit because of it. So give me the Leafs team total over 3.5 at minus 112. I think there's so much value. This team's getting 4 goals, and we don't have to rely on the Ottawa Senators in this one. Okay, you can't bet against the Florida Panthers. They do need points right now. It is right, but I can't get behind them in this game. If you don't like taking, if you don't want to bet against them, definitely look at that over 1.5 in that first period. Parlay that with something else, because you're paying too much juice at minus 170, but this will be a high scoring game. You can also look, maybe I wouldn't take their team total, going to be honest with you here. I think Copley is going to be strong, but if you want to bet that doesn't make you bet against the Florida Panthers, grab that over 1.5 in the first period, or you could grab both teams to score in that first period. I do think if Copley is going to let one into the Kings, we're going to see it in the first period. Now, when you bet first periods, both teams to score, the books do not have the high juice on compared to the over 1.5. So it's a good way to look at it. Yeah, Nylander definitely will make up for the loss of Matthews for sure. Okay, let's move on to the next game, you guys. I'm excited for these games tonight. The San Jose Sharks are taking on the Carolina Hurricanes. Now, this is really interesting. Carolina Hurricanes coming in here at minus 285. We got a total of 6, plus 230 here for the San Jose Sharks. Could this be the matchup that we've seen on today's slate that we saw with the Avs and the Calgary Flames last night, and the Oilers game where the Dogs really came out and shocked everyone and breaks everyone's parlay? Absolutely. This could be the game here tonight. We've got Ranta expected in goal for the Carolina Hurricanes. Now, I love what I've seen out of Ranta. Don't get me wrong, but we haven't seen him play since January 7th. On January 7th, there was an overtime loss. The Carolina Hurricanes lost that one to the Columbus Blue Jackets. Ranta allowed 3 goals on 18 shots on goal. Okay, So that's my point about Ranta. Again, haven't seen him since January 7th. That was 20 days ago. It is January 27th. I worry that the San Jose Sharks might catch him here in this first game back. Now, my other concern for the Carolina Hurricanes and why I'm not rushing to bet them here on the puck line tonight, because you're not getting any value on the money line, is because you look at who they have on deck. They have the Bruins on deck. They're off an overtime win over the Stars. Yes, that was Wednesday, but they had to go to overtime in that. That was a hard-fought battle. This has the recipe of an upset in this one by the San Jose Sharks. But can I take the San Jose Sharks plus 230 on the money line? God, no. I don't want my money there. James Reimer expected in goal for the San Jose Sharks. He's got a 3.25 goals against average. This team's defense absolutely sucks, allowing a total of 3.71 goals per game. And they're facing up against the Carolina Hurricanes team that's defense is absolutely phenomenal. They are only allowing 2.64 goals per game and 26.4 shots on goal. First overall in the league. The Sharks also struggling to break that average of 3 goals per game, sitting at 2.98 and 29.5 shots on goal. So only averaging 29.5 shots on goal versus the Carolina Hurricanes. We're not going to see Ranta berated with shots in this one. Now, the Carolina Hurricanes have won their last 8 games at home following an overtime win. So yes, while I do think that overtime win took a lot out of them, we do see them strong off those anytime wins. I'm going to look at this one at taking the San Jose Sharks plus 1.5 on that puck line. They covered that puck line in their last 8 games against the Carolina Hurricanes. I just had to make sure it's 8. It's unbelievable to think the Sharks have been able to keep these games so tight. Grabbing them plus 1.5 is minus 105. Do I love it? Absolutely not, because I do think the Carolina Hurricanes are just so much stronger and dominant. But we look at them on the puck line. They're not blowing teams out at home. They're 7-14 at home on that puck line. The San Jose Sharks rolling in here, 13-12 on the road on that puck line. Everything is pointing towards taking the Sharks plus 1.5 tonight. Everything's leading me away from taking Carolina, throwing it in a parlay anywhere, because I don't want this to be my Calgary Flames team, the Colorado Avalanche, or the Edmonton Oilers team of the night here in the Carolina Hurricanes. Now, the Sharks do have another game before the All-Star break as well. They're the Penguins on deck tomorrow. They've lost their last 3. They lost in OT to the Red Wings on Tuesday, so they're coming in with a bit of break here. While they have covered that puck line in the last 8 versus Carolina, they also are 1-6 or 1-5 in the last 6 meetings in Carolina. Because I'm liking the Sharks plus 1.5. This cannot be a blowout by Carolina. I'm expecting that if this plus 1.5 hits for the Sharks, we have a lower scoring game. Give me the under 6 in this one. And I think this is where I feel the most confident in this game overall, because I do think the defense of Carolina is just so strong, and I expect a strong defensive game out of them. So if that puck, even if that puck line doesn't come in for the Sharks, because I think this is probably a 2-1 style game. If we get that empty netter by Carolina, then that puck line is going to be blown. But I still think we hit the under 6. We've seen the under hit in the last 4 meetings between these two, and in for the last 5 meetings in Carolina. So look for strong defense. I really hope Ranta comes out strong in this one. 20 days off is a lot of time, you guys, to be off the ice. I know he's been practicing and everything like that and should be ready, but I just don't know if I can trust it now. Okay, let's look at the next game on the board here, you guys. The Vegas Golden Knights taking on the New York Rangers. Now, this one kicks off at 7 o'clock Eastern. We got a total of 6. Vegas coming in here at plus 134, minus 162 for the New York Rangers. Aiden Hill is confirmed for the Vegas Golden Knights. He's got a 2.71 goals against average, and we got Igor expected here for the New York Rangers. He's got a 2.45. This number is dropping every single time we come and we talk about Igor Shesterkin, because he is heating up as the season goes on. We saw some really rough games out of him to start the season, but I tell you, he is looking like himself as of late. He's been putting up a phenomenal effort and getting the Rangers wins in the progress. Now, the New York Rangers are off the loss to the Toronto Maple Leafs. It was an overtime loss. It was a 3-2 loss. We saw strong defense in that one. This is their last game before the break. We're going to get everything out of the New York Rangers tonight. This team isn't going to come in looking forward to their holiday. This team is going to come in wanting the win so that they can go and enjoy their holiday. Giving the New York Rangers here in regulation, we know how hard it is to win in the Garden for opponents. And I do think Vegas is seeing too many struggles right now. They've still got another game in front of them before their break. They got the Islanders on deck tomorrow. Now, we've had some strong trends to Vegas getting these wins. They've won 6 of the last 8 meetings. But when we look at the very last matchup between these two, the New York Rangers dominated back in November. They got a 5-1 win. I think they come out, get another win here. I know they had an overtime game. I know they struggle on that puck line, but we're not asking them to do it on the puck line. We're not asking for a big win. We're looking for a 1-goal win. Give me them in regulation. So that's all I like. I think this is the best bet. I love the New York Rangers today. I think they have a really good game here in this one. You guys, I want to thank you so much for being here. Like I said, 8 games on the ice tonight. We're going to move on. The next game on the ice, 8:30 Eastern. We have the New Jersey Devils taking on the Dallas Stars. Now, Dallas coming in here as a favorite at -156 plus 130. For the New Jersey Devils, a total of 6. You guys drop in those live chat comments. If you know the prop bet, if you've been listening, you know exactly who I'm taking for the New Jersey Devils. Let all the new viewers know who we're betting just for that anytime goal. He hasn't let us down in forever. Initials JH for that anytime goal. This is the last game for both of these teams before the break. We're going to get maximum effort out of these teams. Now, the New Jersey Devils, yes, they did just lose to the Panthers. It was 6-4. They got up nice, hard, and fast, just like I expected, and then were not able to finish that game out. It was a look ahead, I really do think, to this matchup with the Dallas Stars. Dallas Stars beat them back in December, 4-1 win. The New Jersey Devils are going to want to get this game and get the win. Now, Vanek expected for them. You know, we talked about Vanek yesterday. Expected. We knew it would be Blackwood. At the end of the day, why would they start Vanek last night when they want to beat the Dallas Stars? We got to look at that scheduling. You got to look at, even though they're saying 1 goalie is expected, you know, they're not going to do that. So Jake Ottinger here expected for the Dallas Stars. He's got a 2.24 goals against average. Both of these teams so strong offensively, both averaging over 3 goals per game, both getting the shots on goal. We've got the New Jersey Devils averaging 34.5 shots on goal, and the Dallas Stars averaging 31.9. Both teams over that 3 goals, with the Devils 3.48 on average and the Stars 3.4. Now, defensively, both phenomenally strong. The Devils able to limit opponents a little bit more on the defensive side on those shots allowed at 28.3 versus the Stars at 30.9. So at the end of the day, it doesn't sound a lot. It's only 2 more shots that the Dallas Stars are allowing, but it is a lot on these goalies here. We have phenomenal teams in this one. It's really hard to get on a side. When we look at the New Jersey Devils, they have struggled versus the Stars, only winning 1 of the last 6 meetings over the Stars. Now, the Stars come in here off 1 day's rest, which isn't good for this team, which is kind of surprising. 2-5 in their last 7, playing on 1 day's rest. We got the Devils going 7-2 in their last 9 overall. If this game was in New Jersey, I would have to give the advantage to the New Jersey Devils. I would be taking the Devils on home ice. This isn't in New Jersey. This is in Dallas. I got a ride here with the Stars. Am I running to bet this one? Absolutely not. I think this one is another game that comes down to a little bit of puck luck. Phenomenal teams here. Now, we talked about how strong these teams are offensively. This game is sitting solid at the total of 6. I wish this was a 6.5. I love the under at 6.5. At 6, I'm a little concerned with that push. Who likes the push? I freaking hate pushing on this total. You could buy it up to 6.5, but I still think we're safe at the 6. I see this being a 3-2 style game. I just pray that 3-2, because what I think happens, this is a 2-2 game. We get someone go up, get that 3-2 lead, and then we see empty netter come in. If that empty netter comes in, it's going to push us over this total. I really hope we don't see that empty netter. That is what scares me with this total sitting here. So I lean on the under. I think this is a 3-2 game. I just need protection from that empty netter in this one, because nothing is more frustrating. These offenses are just jiving right now on both sides of the puck, but I think their defenses are so strong. This is going to be a battle. These teams sitting so high in the standings, I think their defenses have to control this game. Hughes, of course, it is a Jack Hughes. Matt, I want to thank you so much for jumping in with Jake Hughes for that Jack Hughes, for that anytime goal. I just drew a blank on his first name. I have no clue why. But Jack Hughes for that anytime goal. I'd also look at Jack Hughes for his shots on goal tonight, because we know the Dallas Stars are allowing that 30.9. As soon as we start seeing teams allowing over that 30, that's when I start to look at the shots on goal. When a team is like the New Jersey Devils, right at that 28.3, I will not look at those shots on goal, because that scares me when we've got defenses. But Jack Hughes, I tell you, this kid is playing absolutely lights out. Ever since he got that hat trick back in, what was it, October, November? He got a hat trick on the ice. It was a Saturday. I remember it because I had him for 2+ goals, and he got his first hat trick in the NHL. So it was beautiful to see, and he made me some freaking money. So let's make some more money with Jack Hughes in this one. Again, give me the under 6 in this game. I really hope we don't get the empty netter to push us to a 4-2 game and get that push, because I really do think this one finishes 3-2. I lean on the Stars on home ice. The next game on the board, I'm almost scared to talk about this game, you guys. We have the Calgary Flames taking on the Seattle Kraken. Now, Calgary, off a disappointing loss, it was so frustrating to see Calgary just completely fall apart. Their head was not in the game versus the Chicago Blackhawks. The Chicago Blackhawks came to play, upset, and destroy Calgary, and that's exactly what they did. Now, the Seattle Kraken have struggled versus Calgary. They have only won one of the last 6 meetings over the Calgary Flames. Dan Vladar expected here for Calgary. Calgary coming in as the underdog at +100. Like I said, they're on that back-to-back with the loss to the Blackhawks. I think they were in a look-ahead situation. Now, the Seattle Kraken are sitting first in the Pacific. We have the Calgary Flames sitting 5th in the Pacific. If you would have told me at the start of this season that this is where both of these teams would have been, and if you would have asked me which team do I have the most doubt in, it would have been the Seattle Kraken sitting first. This team has been absolutely dominating on the ice this season. I love what I've seen out of the Seattle Kraken. They made adjustments and changes during the offseason, and they definitely built their team right. Everyone gave them a lot of crap when they built this team in the expansion, because they didn't build like Vegas. They didn't build for speed and flash and to come out and just dominate to start. They built for long term, and that's exactly what we're seeing out of this team. So I love what we're seeing out of the Kraken. Will I be happy if they win this game tonight? Absolutely not. You guys know I'm a Calgary Flames fan. Would I be shocked if the Kraken came out and got this win? Yeah, a little bit, because I do think Calgary has played them so strong. They're really good in this matchup. Now, Calgary's last game is tonight before the All-Star break. The Seattle Kraken have the Columbus Blue Jackets on deck tomorrow. So it's not like they're going to be looking ahead to Columbus at all. I'm trying to find a way to bet this that I can find some value, because I don't have enough faith in Calgary here straight up to grab them as a dog at +100. They've lost their last 4 as an underdog on that second leg of a back-to-back. Calgary just not strong as an underdog on that back-to-back. But I do, when I look at these last 10 games, these two teams have played. The average has been 6 goals in these games. So hitting the under 6 or the over 6, we're right on that number of 6. I don't love it. So I'm not going to take the whole total, but I am going to look at Calgary's total. With Calgary coming in here as the underdog, taking their team total over 2.5 is coming in at minus 145. And I do expect Calgary to get 3 goals in this one. When we look at the last 10 games between these two, Calgary has averaged 3.5 goals per game. And the Seattle Kraken have averaged 2.5. So I think there's money to be made on Calgary's team total over 2.5. I'm just asking for 3 goals in this one, not even their average. So Calgary has won 7 of the last 10 matchups between these two. So it's going to be an interesting one, you guys. I really hope Calgary is able to pull off the win, but I think the best way to take this is just to take that Calgary's team total over 2.5. Last 4 or 5, each team scored a goal in the first period. I like that in the first period. We're seeing these goalies give them up in that first period. You're going to get so much value on both teams to score in that first period. This is another one where I have got the flag on the over 1.5 to see how it works. So I'm not betting it. A lot of these times, you guys, I write down my second, third, and fourth, like kind of bets that I like in a game. Kind of flag it in my notebook, see if it hits to see if I was right with that one. Over 1.5 in the first period is something that I have flagged here. I think when Calgary slips up, as they slip up early, we've seen the Kraken so strong offensively in a lot of their games. So I do think the over 1.5 that first period, and I do think both of these teams get a goal in that first period. So best of luck with that one. The next game on the board, Columbus Blue Jackets taking on the Vancouver Canucks. The poor Vancouver Canucks, so much is happening with this team. They're coming in at minus 192 on the money line. Who the hell wants to bet the Vancouver Canucks at minus 192? I know I don't. You couldn't force me. I don't even want to sprinkle on this team in any way to get anything done for me. Columbus is playing the better hockey at the moment. This line looks completely off. I don't know why the Vancouver Canucks deserve to be such a high favorite. Now the total is set at 7. Corpostello expected in goal for the Columbus Blue Jackets. We've seen Corpostello make some incredible saves. If you did not watch the game between the Edmonton Oilers and the Columbus Blue Jackets, Corpostello was lights out in that game. He's coming off a fantastic one. They won that game. They got the upset over the Oilers, who were just sleeping, looking at easy teams ahead of them, off 6 wins, and screwed everyone in their parlays. So I think Columbus is rolling hot in this one. They won the last matchup over the Vancouver Canucks back in October. Yes, it was a long time ago, start of the season, 4-3. But at plus 158, I got to take the Columbus Blue Jackets here. I don't like anything I've seen out of the Vancouver Canucks. They're off that loss to the Kraken, 6-1, after a win to the Blackhawks. Yeah, they won over the Blackhawks. So I don't care. Now, when we look at the Canucks, they have stepped up versus teams with losing or winning records below 400. So that's why they won over the Blackhawks. So 6-0 in their last 6 versus teams with losing records. But the Kraken on deck tomorrow for the Columbus Blue Jackets. I don't think they're going to look ahead. They're going to play the Vancouver Canucks as hard as they can. Now, if you like them on that puck line, still okay on a parlay. You could take the Columbus Blue Jackets plus 1.5 because I do expect this to be a game where if the Columbus Blue Jackets lose, it is because of a 1-goal loss. It's not going to be a 2-3 goal loss. Now, grabbing them on that puck line for parlay reasons is minus 155. But I'm going to take them here on the money line. They've won 5 of the last 7 meetings in Vancouver, 5-1 in the last 6 meetings overall. So I know we got a high total here of 7. I still think it goes over. Columbus has proved that they can score these goals. Now, when I look at players to get these goals, give me Johnny Hockey, Johnny Gaudreau for that anytime goal, plus 194. Value, value, value. Bon Jenner for that anytime goal. Patrick Lane for that anytime goal. Columbus's team total, too, over 2.5. I think this is a game you bet anything to do with Columbus, this team playing hot, they better not let me down. I don't see it. I think Vancouver is a complete mess right now. This is their last game before the break. This team needs an absolute reset. This team does not need, well, they would like the win, but they need a reset. I don't believe that they'll get the win here tonight. Okay, that's it. Those are all 8 of our games on the ice tonight. So let's recap these games. Let's build a parlay. Let's make some freaking money tonight. Again, I want to thank all of you for being here on Pocket Up. Don't know if you saw my YouTube now have a little memberships and that kind of thing. So check it out. I'm going to start offering some premium videos as well for everyone. So that will be another option. Just trying to work out the best way to do that for you guys. But I would love your input if you're interested in becoming a premium member, what kind of content you would love to see on a daily for that. If you just like a premium pick show for all of the sports, or if you'd like a premium pick show for different sports and that kind of thing. So give me your guys' input, because this channel is only possible because of each and every one of you out there. So, and it's not the membership, nothing is going to affect Pocket with Joe. So don't worry about that. Pocket with Joe is always going to be here to everyone. I love doing the show, and I love all of the support you guys have given me over the last year. It's been absolutely incredible. So let's do the recap. The first game on the board, you guys, we have the Detroit Red Wings taking on the New York Islanders again. If you have faith in the Islanders, which is like a head shaker, I think everything points to the Islanders getting this one done in regulation. Am I going to run and bet it? Absolutely not. If I had to walk to a sports book or cross the street to go to a sports book, would I bet this game? No. Betting it on my phone, I would be taking the Islanders in regulation. So that is my thoughts on this game. Leaving it out of the parlay, I do think this is one with the Red Wings on the back-to-back and the Islanders so inconsistent. Vegas on deck tomorrow for them. I can't trust this team. So you can't force me to bet it. Islanders in regulation, I think, though, is what I would take if you have to bet this game. And maybe if you have to bet this game, you want to call someone for a little bit of help, because it's a terrible one on the board. Sorry, guys. I'm not making fun of the Islanders. I kind of am. Sorokin is expected in goal for them, though. So could be an opportunity to make some money. Now, the LA Kings and the Florida Panthers, you guys, I think the value is screaming on the Kings tonight at plus 122 with Copley expected in goal. I love the Kings in this one. I've heard you guys, some of you are Florida Panther fans. You don't want to bet against them. Yes, they need points. So if you don't want to bet against the Florida Panthers, look at the first period over 1.5 or both teams to score in this first period. I do like both of those bets. I think we go up fast in this game. I think this game is down to the wire kind of game. Now, for myself, I do like the Kings team total over 2.5. It's too highly juiced, so at minus 168. So this is going to be something that I parlay with something else. So the Kings team total over 2.5 will be also in the long shot parlay, because I do think they get 3 goals in this one. I do think I lean on that over 6.5. So Copley could have a fantastic game, but I still do think with the struggles defensively at the Florida Panthers, we do see the Kings go over that 2.5. The next game on the board, the Ottawa Senators and the Toronto Maple Leafs, even with Austin Matthews out of the lineup, you guys, which I do feel bad for the Leafs. I feel bad for Austin Matthews. I give the Leafs a lot of heck just because of where I am in Canada, where they are in Canada. But at the end of the day, no one wishes any player ill will. High knee sprain here for Austin Matthews. So this is going to step back the Leafs a little bit, but I do still think this team is so strong even without him. They've got the depth, and I really do hope that this team can keep performing. So I'm going to look at the Leafs team total over 3.5. I love this bet today. I really do think they get 4 goals on the Ottawa Senators in this game. So I'm going to throw the Leafs on the money line. into the parlay because I do think that they win this game. Not straight up, though. I wouldn't take that bet straight up at minus 196. Parlay that was something else if you're liking two teams at that kind of value. But I think the best bet in this one is the Leafs team total over 3.5. The next game on the board, the San Jose Sharks and the Carolina Hurricanes. Again, you guys, I'm worried. This is going to be our underdog that might pull off the upset tonight. Yes, I know the Canes are so much better. The Sharks suck, but we've seen these big favorites fall really hard. I'm going to take the Sharks plus 1.5 on that puck line at minus 105. I think there's an opportunity to make some money here with the Sharks. Like I said, they've covered that puck line in their last 8 against the Carolina Hurricanes. They played tight games, and the Canes have not been blowing anyone out on the puck line at home either. They have the Boston Bruins on deck as well. So that gives me concerns for the Carolina Hurricanes, especially off that overtime win versus the Stars. They played such a hard physical game in that one. I could see the Sharks being a letdown spot for this team here. Sebastian Aho is another great player to look at. 4 shots on goal tonight. We look at the San Jose Sharks allowing that 30.8 shots on goal per game. I would not be taking any Sharks players for shots on goal. I would be looking at their anytime goals in this one if you believe that they come in. But this is a game where I like the under, and I think the under 6 is a very solid way to go in this one. The last 4 meetings have hit that under. So give me the Sharks and the Canes under 6 for this matchup in the parlay. The next game on the board, the Vegas Golden Knights and the New York Rangers. I got to take the Rangers here in regulation. For the parlay, I'm going to take the Rangers on the money line just in case this goes to overtime. But I do think the Rangers in regulation is my favorite bet of the day. It's just too high on that money line to bet straight up. But we could parlay the Rangers on the money line with another team on the money line and get better value. But in regulation, I love that bet tonight. I do think they get this win over the Vegas Golden Knights, and I lean on the under in this one. I think this is a hard hitting game in the Garden tonight. Now, the New Jersey Devils, the Dallas Stars, again, I really do. I lean on the Stars here on their home ice versus the New Jersey Devils. The Devils have struggled versus the Dallas Stars. I also think, though, this is a really hard defensive game in this matchup. I know how strong these teams are offensively. And if this team's going to go over, we'll know it by the end of the first period. This is going to be a complete battle here on the ice tonight. I think this game finishes 3-2. So the under, I think, is the strongest play in this. I'm going to take the Devils and the Stars under 6 for my best bet into that parlay, because I really do think 3-2 either way, with my lean being on the Stars on home ice. The last 2, we've got the Calgary Flames and the Seattle Kraken. Give me Calgary's team total over 2.5. It's the only thing that I really feel confident in betting in this game. We know Calgary has had some terrible games within this season. They're sitting only 9-8-5-2 on the road this season. The Seattle Kraken 12-9-2-1 at home. But the Seattle Kraken have struggled versus the Calgary Flames, only winning 1 of the last 6 meetings. So I can't take Seattle and feel confident in it, but I can't take Calgary and feel confident in it. What I can feel confident in is Calgary scoring 3 goals in this game. So give me Calgary's team total over 2.5 for the long shot parlay. I'm also going to do a team total parlay. So that will end up going in the team total parlay as well. The last one, the Columbus Blue Jackets and the Vancouver Canucks. Give me Columbus here, plus 158 on the money line. What have the Vancouver Canucks done for us to tell us here that they're worth a minus 192 favorite? There is absolutely no way I would put money on the Vancouver Canucks at this one. The sportsbook could be in my house, literally, and I would not be betting the Vancouver Canucks tonight. I don't love it. Columbus, though, on the other hand, still the Columbus Blue Jackets. Columbus has had so many struggles, but they're playing the better hockey right now. This record is disgusting, and it makes me want to throw up talking about it. Looking at Columbus on the road, they've gone 4-15-2 on the road this season. Yeah, not 15-4-2. I wish 4-15-2. completely struggling. They've gone 9-12 on the road on that puck line, though. We've got the Vancouver Canucks going 8-15. So for the parlay, instead of taking Columbus, laying 1.5 or on that money line at plus 158, I'm going to take the Columbus Blue Jackets. We'll take it safe, plus 1.5 in that parlay on that puck line. So it's minus 155 if you wanted to grab that and parlay it with anyone. But like I said, this one, Johnny Hockey for that anytime goal. The Vancouver Canucks are allowing these goals to come in. Daily expected here for them. He's allowing 3.05 goals against average, and we've got the Vancouver Canucks giving up an average of 3.96 goals per game and 31.9 shots on goal. I know the Columbus Blue Jackets are giving up 3.85 and 35.2 goals per game. So this one is going to be a high-scoring game. For sure. We've got a total of 7. Do I love it to the over? No. At 6.5, I'd love it a lot more. I am worried a little bit about that push. This is a 4-3 game all day long. I just hope Columbus walks out of there with those 4 goals and doesn't disappoint us off that win over the Oilers coming in too hot-headed. But this Vancouver Canucks team is in shambles, you guys, and I do not trust in them at all in this game. So let's recap that parlay, you guys, and then we'll do the team total parlay and then the best bets of the night. The Kings, long shot parlay. The Kings, team total, over 2.5. The Toronto Maple Leafs on the money line. The Sharks and the Carolina Hurricanes, under 6. The Rangers on the money line. The Devils and the Stars, under 6. Calgary's team total over 2.5. The Columbus Blue Jackets plus 1.5 on that puck line. Now, the best bets of the day, the Rangers in regulation. Absolutely. I think the Rangers have a phenomenal game here at home in the Garden in this one. And then the Leafs in regulation. I think the Leafs get it done as well tonight. So those are my 2 favorite bets of teams in regulation, the Rangers and the Leafs in regulation. For that team total parlay, I'm looking at the Calgary Flames team total over 2.5, the Kings team total over 2.5, and the Leafs team total over 3.5. I think that's a really solid bet in this one. If you're looking at 2 teams on that money line tonight, I could see the Rangers getting it done on the money line and combining that one with, and I think I'll take a little bit of a chance here and take the Columbus Blue Jackets here on the money line for that, because I do think that they get it done. So you guys, those are my favorite bets of the day. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me here on Puck It with Joe. I will be back tomorrow. Now, tomorrow is Saturday. Let's just see what time the games kick off. You guys know you can grab me on Sports Grid tomorrow night. I will be on Sports Grid between 4 and 8 o'clock Eastern tomorrow. So just check what time the games start tomorrow. We have the first game at 3 o'clock Eastern. So let's plan for tomorrow. I will post it on the community link earlier in the morning, what time the show will kick off. But I'm planning for this show to kick off tomorrow at 2 o'clock Eastern, right before these games, within the hour before these games kick off, because the first game kicks off at 3 o'clock Eastern with the the St. Louis Blues taking on the Colorado Avalanche. And then we don't have any games till 6 o'clock. So 2 o'clock Eastern, I will see you guys here, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Join me tomorrow for Puck It with Joe. I want to thank you guys again for joining me. Have a great day. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here for the show. You guys have a terrific Friday. Let's make some freaking money. We will see you back here tomorrow at 2 o'clock Eastern. Bye, guys.